Paris Fashion Week has always been a space where elegance, nerves, and flawless choreography collide under blinding lights. Models glide down the runway with icy precision, celebrities sit stone-faced in the front row, and every flicker of emotion is captured by dozens of cameras. So when a model stumbled during Balenciaga's much-anticipated show, all eyes naturally turned to the front row to see how the A-listers would react. Among them was Meghan Markle, sitting confidently in her cream outfit, poised for maximum visibility. What followed next, according to the collective gasp of those seated nearby, was a moment that some described as pure high school mean girl energy. As the model wobbled dramatically before regaining her balance, most attendees gave polite applause or maintained the carefully neutral expressions typical of the fashion elite. Meghan, however, allegedly tilted her head back and let out a short but unmistakable laugh. It wasn't loud enough to disrupt the show, but it was caught by a camera at precisely the wrong moment, her smile frozen in time as the model recovered. Within hours, the image was circulating online, feeding into a long-running narrative about Meghan's perceived inability to blend humility with her growing celebrity persona. Fashion Week regulars are accustomed to mishaps. Heels snap, trains catch, lights flicker. The golden rule is to react with grace. In a room where even the slightest eye roll can become international news, Meghan's smirk stood out like a champagne spill on silk. Critics argued that her reaction betrayed an instinct to turn someone else's misfortune into a private joke, a behavior that echoed the mean girl archetype she's been accused of embodying in the past. Admirers saw it as an innocent reaction, but detractors saw confirmation of a pattern, Meghan positioning herself at the center of every moment, even when it isn't about her. This incident, though trivial on the surface, played directly into a public image that has become increasingly polarizing. Meghan's time on the royal stage taught her the power of optics. Every smile, every glance, every whispered word can be magnified into symbolism. Laughing, even briefly, at a moment of vulnerability on the runway signaled something critics pounced on immediately: a lack of empathy wrapped in a designer coat. Commentators online were merciless. One popular fashion blogger wrote, "It's the look you give when you think the room is watching you, not the runway." Another quipped, "Some people clap when others stumble. Some people laugh." Meghan chose the latter. The discussion quickly moved beyond the Balenciaga show itself, spiraling into broader debates about her personality. Was this a glimpse of the real Meghan beneath the polished PR surface? Or was it simply an awkward human reaction magnified by her celebrity status? For someone who has spent years framing herself as misunderstood by the media, Meghan's actions often seem to hand her critics ammunition on a silver platter. She has crafted an image that mixes Hollywood poise with royal gravitas, but moments like this expose the cracks. Paris Fashion Week wasn't her stage, she was merely in the audience. Yet, once again, she managed to dominate the headlines. Supporters argue that the reaction was overblown, that a tiny laugh doesn't define a person. But Meghan is not just anyone in the audience. She is a figure who understands, better than most, how fast a single facial expression can circle the globe. Choosing to laugh, even subtly, in such a tightly controlled environment speaks volumes about instinct and self-awareness. And it's precisely in those unscripted moments that public opinion tends to harden. The fashion world thrives on moments of shared respect between performer and observer. When a model trips, the etiquette is to applaud encouragement, not amusement. Meghan's alleged lapse fed into a narrative that she views herself less as part of a collective and more as the star of her own ever-unfolding drama. It's not that the stumble was a catastrophe. It's that her reaction, so small yet so telling, was out of sync with the tone of the room. Whether fair or not, Meghan Markle's every gesture is scrutinized with the intensity of a runway spotlight. At the Balenciaga show, that spotlight caught her in a moment that critics say revealed more than any interview ever could. And once again, the conversation shifted away from the fashion, the designers, and the artistry, and back to Meghan. In a world that prizes elegance under pressure, even a small laugh can sound louder than 1,000 camera shutters.